Hey, party people. Y'all wanted my opinions on the Fall/Winter 2019 show, so here we are. A reminder, these are my opinions. This is a little different from my normal videos, which are mainly instructional, and this is mainly opinion. And, you have some opinions, I have some opinions. There's no need to get nasty if we disagree. Okay. Anyway, also, everyone else, do not feed the trolls. Okay. I'm going to go loosely in order of the show seasons: New York, then London, Milan, and then last Paris. And you know what? Just because I don't love a collection doesn't mean I hate the brand. Also, vice versa. First up, Area, because everybody is talking about them right now. I have a love-hate relationship with this collection. It's so super fun, but their attempts at wearable clothes are sad. Look at these amazing sweaters and this beautiful coat, but can I get like a nice proper pair of pants that's not attached to a jumpsuit? Just pants. Not those kinds of pants, but like real pants. Anyway, I love the sweaters. The line is fun. Check it out. Claudia Lee. Gimme these pillow bags. Claudia Lee is someone who can do wearable that's not commercial. You can wear the hell out of everything, but you're never going to see this stuff at Old Navy without them going through some major diluting. Okay? Wearable versus commercial. Old Navy is commercial, Claudia Lee is wearable. I love the blown up and abstracted lilies. I love the whole taking an inspiration and translating it so we still know what it is, but it isn't your everyday print or graphic. I don't really love the structured box looks, though. Rag and Bone. I kinda love these cargo trouser sweatpant hybrids. I don't even know what that's all about, but I can't stop looking at them, and I still haven't made up my mind about them. I do love these black and brown boots, though. Sally LaPointe, I think that's how you pronounce that. She reminds me of Eli Saab, that decadent, wearable, glamorousness, styles repeated in different colors, doing monochromatic sections of the show, that whole thing. But she definitely has an aesthetic that's her own. RODARTE, while I appreciate a cheerfully tacky aesthetic, and I enjoy parody, but these were the only two things I like from this show. Tom Ford. I love a weird hat. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I love a weird hat, but I am not into these at all. Hot take, my opinion is Tom Ford is not a designer, but a brilliant stylist who occasionally can design a gorgeous evening gown. Zimmermann is new to me, and this collection, I call it Little House on the Prairie meets Cold War East Berlin. And I don't mean that as an insult. That's kind of all the influences that I'm particularly seeing. These narrow ruffles and belted looks and odd color leathers. Kind of reminds me of that first Christopher Kane collection. But anyway, this collection, I didn't love everything, but it had a lot of amazing pieces. CHROMAT is a swimwear line out of Miami, and, do I love all the different bodies and races and interesting faces? Yes, I do. Do I love the swimwear? No, I do not. There are some construction issues, and I am not enjoying all the dangly straps. It's not an elevated design element. It just looks sloppy. Moving on to London, we're at Molly Goddard, and this collection looks like two designers were given the same direction, and the two designers took off running in two different directions, but somehow came together in the end. And this reminds me of when I tell students to develop 2-3 different mini collections based on the same inspiration so that they could really explore what the same inspiration can do. And these like peasant field worker dresses reminiscent of realism art movement paintings meets huge splashes of color. And the color saturation of the big fluffy dresses never loses its intensity because our eyes get a break and we see these interesting patterns and more neutral colors on softer fabrics, back and forth, back and forth. House of Holland. If you get sick of looking at neutrals, go check out any House of Holland collection. This is a masterclass on eccentric British fabric mixing and also how to maximize the usage of two fabrics. And everyone knows I love a statement coat, right? Victoria Beckham. That red, y'all. I love it. Did not love the external Spanx. Do not tell me those are corsets. Those are huge elastic bands. They look like big gray Spanx. Everything else looked like really wearable and beautiful, but I don't know what that was about. Is that an iridescent navy? It is so beautiful. Iridescent fabrics is a category that kind of goes in and out of fashion, but I think it's making a comeback. Yes, I have a rendering video on that, and I love the yellow shoes. Like, there are no yellow clothes that I remember, but the yellow shoes are a great touch. J.W. Anderson, I love this deconstructed trench and this sweater, and I was not particularly interested in anything else. And no, I did not like these ridiculous hats either. ROKSANDA. These colors just makes you so happy, you know? And the parkas are very clever with all these interesting details. And a parka with shape, you know how usually you just look like you're wearing a sleeping bag, but these parkas had actual shape. And, you know, throughout the collection, sometimes you lose your shape in these like really big, long, slouchy, relaxed looks, but the belts throughout the collection really help. This is Ryan Lowe, and it looks like they're trying to create a fantasy of sorts, but it didn't particularly enchant me. It looked more costumey rather than eccentric. It's like a big gothic Lolita meets 70s grandma chic meets cotton candy. And I'm sad because I love all those references, but they don't really work together here. Again, just a little too on the costumey front. And I think it would help if one of these influences was the dominant one, and then it kind of referenced some of the others a little less. Okay? The strongest looks are when the ugly 70s grandma home decor references are the strongest, because it's like a look, a real look. That's more fashion, less costume. On to Milan. Here we are at Gucci, and I went back and forth on this a lot, and it kind of depends on whether you think the whole geek chic thing is an aesthetic that can continue every season or a trend that you need to let die on occasion. Right now, it looks like Phantom of the Opera and Super Geek went to Folsom Street Fair together, and it works sometimes. There are some great pieces, and sometimes it does not work, and there are things that I think we've already seen before from Gucci, and there's like all this exaggerated 40s tailoring, but I think Givenchy did it better. I will say though, this coat, I love this coat. This is Vivetta, and I love trying to imagine what inspired designers, and when I saw this collection, it looked like the clothing equivalent of an elaborately decorated pony carousel meets Princess and the Pea, with all the quilted, mattress, blankie, sleeping references. It's pretty, and it's fun, and it's just weird enough that it's not completely saccharine. I like it a little weird. I did not love last season's Jill Sander. They kind of all look like poorly tailored hospital scrubs, but this one I love. You know, dresses over pants, they often look real boho or they look Middle Eastern, but you know, the combo that they did here, it just looks impeccable. It looks polished, it looks grown up, and it doesn't look like someone's traditional costume, you know? Also, practically every freaking collection this season has a really awesome green, and I am here for it. This is Roberto Cavalli. Y'all, I remember Roberto Cavalli being a lot tackier than this. Like, am I the only one who thought it was like all gold chains and animal prints and cleavage? Like, this is all way more chic and badass looking than I remember. There was still some of that, you know, overall Italianness, right? The over-the-top Italianness, yeah? Anyway, so I poked around and learned that people are talking about the current creative director at Roberto Cavalli. His name is Paul Surridge. And they're talking about how he's really hitting his stride in year 2 of being over at Cavalli. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I see that. It's still Cavalli, but the tiger stripes are abstracted and recolored, and there's more variety in the women's wear silhouettes. And the menswear just, it looks on point without it being too like somber, straightforward, black and white, boring. I like it. Who knew I would like Roberto Cavalli, y'all? All right, so I was having lunch with a friend, and this friend is way into fashion, but is not a Versace fanboy, but was like, girl, you need to check out the latest Versace show. Just shut up and check it out. And that snatch was right. Maybe it's because it reminds me so much of, old school Gianni's Versace. I mean, Gianni's Versace and Donatello's Versace are, they're a little different. It's got the black and gold, the 90s style bondage dresses and halters, the slip dresses trimmed in contrast color lace, the way the leather is used. Maybe I love all the colors. I'm feeling the acid sorbet colors right now. Maybe I love how the layers all work together. Maybe it's the way there are all these grunge references, but completely avoids the whole Marc Jacobs comparisons. But this collection was fun and beautiful and modern, despite all the 90s references. It just didn't look too heavy and referential, It didn't look retro. And hi, Stephanie Seymour. We miss you. We're not worthy. Now on to Paris. First up, the Dries Van Noten show. The first 10 or so outfits, they were like really somber and gray, and I didn't love all of them. And then we started to see his signature quirky offbeat color combos and embellishment usage and his flowers, and I started getting excited again. And this tone of purple with this light turquoise and orange and yellow is like bright and colorful. And it's not a stereotypically fall color story, but it doesn't look out of place for fall, The iridescent fabrics, again, we're seeing that again, including the two-tone furs, are a really nice touch. I especially love the green and coral two-tone fur. It's like sorbet tones meets jewel tones. I'm seeing a lot of these like kind of offbeat, acidy sorbet colors throughout the collections. When I was in New York last week, literally every other person was in a black puffer coat with a fur trim hood, and I'm like, can I get one of these instead? Next up is Hermes, not gonna lie. I looked at this collection after looking at a collection I did not like because I knew that looking at Hermes would be a vacation, a soft landing place for my eyes, because Hermes transcends fashion, trends, subjective whims like personal tastes, because Hermes is craftsmanship and precision and luxury and attention to detail and history, and it's always just a yummy collection to look at. Next up is NOIR NINOMIYA, and this designer is new to me. And, playing with massive volume is such a trend right now. And when most everyone else went vibrant, colorful, happy, fun vibe, and, there's nothing wrong with that, but we're seeing a lot of that with like gathers and gathers and gathers of tulle and crin and all that. This designer went their own path. It's like, Edward Scissorhands was hired to make flowers out of plastic shopping bags for a Japanese funeral, and I am here for it. The motorcycle jacket turned crinoline cage. There are a lot of BDSM references all throughout the European shows, by the way. But yeah, there is an element of sweetness in every outfit, kind of like Edward Scissorhands, the character himself. The cute skirts, the bows, amongst all the shiny black. And yeah, there is that gothic Lolita influence, but they work better here than in the Ryan Lowe show because it's like moved away far enough that it doesn't look totally literal. Balmain, well, the Balmain show looked like the 80s meets Chanel, and people only really love it because Lagerfeld died and it looks like an homage, but I think it just looks dated and retro. Like big shoulders, mom jeans, peg trousers, all the studs that were available in the whole of the European continent, ripped denim from the 80s. Quilted leather, black and white tweeds, boxy jackets with border trim, very Chanel. Givenchy's current creative director is clearly a great tailor. It shows in the menswear as well. The big strong shoulders, the 40s style tailoring is really big right now. And the second strongest category here are the long knit dresses. It's like Pokemon, gotta catch them all. I don't love the crystal pleated dresses with the lettuce edge collars and cuffs, but they do provide a nice counterpoint to all the sharp tailoring. As I mentioned in my haute couture video, I think that the relationship between hard and soft is a definite Givenchy hallmark. This is a DELPOZO collection, and I am a big DELPOZO fan, but I do think their spring collection was better. This collection is a softer version of many of the fall-winter show trends right now, 40s tailoring shapes, peplums, big volume. And I like DELPOZO because DELPOZO is pretty without being cute. Nothing that is wrong with cute, but you know, I'm a grown woman. I don't like cute all the time. And last but not least, Valentino. While everyone is chasing those tool stuffed dreams that Valentino presented before, Valentino has moved on. And the volume is still there, but it's streamlined, it's softer, it's more relaxed, not so overstuffed, a little more liquid, you know, slouchy. Always the beautiful colors, always a dash of Valentino red. And I don't love the prints of the marble sculptures. You know, I'm a little conflicted because I love the techniques. I love how they were blown up and slightly abstracted, and they were applied in different ways. I just don't love the actual imagery itself, if you catch my drift. But you know, you gotta love any dress with pockets. So those are some of my thoughts on the Fall/Winter 2019 shows. And now it's your turn. Tell me what you think are the biggest trends coming from this round of shows. I did try to get a nice mix of super famous, not so famous, wearable, avant-garde, in between. And again, feel free to share your opinions, but I will delete nasty comments. I love and encourage conversation, but I do not feed trolls or suffer fools or sip the haterade. Okay? Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. Let me know if you'd like another one of these runway review videos next season. Share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Check the description box for links to related videos and where to find me everywhere on the internets. And I'll see you in the next video.